What's going on, guys? It is FlashDavin here with a special kind of video for you guys. It's going to be a team building guide. It's sort of for beginners. A lot of you guys will know most of this information, but some of it you might not know and some of it you might not have thought about. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm going to try to keep this fairly short. First thing I want to talk about is team chemistry. You will see on the left there, my team chemistry is 96. I do find that team chemistry is very important to some degree. You want to have around 80 chemistry at minimum, I would say. Now, how to get team chemistry? Having players from the same league, so in other words, the NHL is going to be the most popular league. Change teaming your players. So if you have a lot of pucks, obviously you notice all my players are Tampa Bay Lightning. The way you can get around this if you don't have a lot of pucks is buy players from the same team. So for example, all these guys actually were Blackhawks, so you could buy all these guys and get 99 chemistry without having to buy change teams. Now, to get 99 chemistry, what you need is everyone to be playing their proper position, so left wing playing left wing, center to center, right wing to right wing. Now, you can buy change position cards if you have a lot of pucks. So you can make Taves a right winger. You can make Kane a centerman. So you got to buy those change teams to get that for 99 chemistry. And then there's different combinations that will get it for you on the forward and defense, but left two-way forward, playmaker and sniper will get it. Two playmakers and a sniper will get it. I think I have that here. Two playmakers and a sniper. Now, this isn't perfect chemistry because Parise has not been changed team to the right wing yet because I actually like him better on left wing. Three two-way forwards will get it. I believe two grinders and a two-way forward will get it. What else? A power forward, a two-way forward, and a playmaker will get it. And on defense, two two-way defenders will get it. An offensive defenseman and a defensive defenseman will get it. You can also do this for 95 chemistry if you can't find exactly the players you want. So that's all I got to say about chemistry. Now, next on the importance list, the role of your first, second, third, and fourth line. Now, I see tons of guys who have tons of pucks, and they put Kane, Giroux, and someone else really offensive, Kessel, on their fourth line. That is not the role of a fourth line, guys. You will notice all my fourth liners are fast two-way forwards. Now, this is important because you want your fourth line to be a shutdown line. At the end of the game, if I've got a 2-1 lead, I want guys that can keep the puck out of our own net. It's not important that they can score goals. I need someone to keep the puck out of our net. So you rarely use your fourth line anyways, so make it really good defensive players, whoever you like to play with. I love Bergeron because he's got huge faceoffs, which we'll talk about later. Helm's always been one of my favorite players, and he's very cheap if you get the not Team of the Week version, or a Hut Live version. He's very cheap. I'll go into that as well later. And Kessler is also a really good two-way player for me. Now, your first line, of course, you want to have good scoring players, guys who play well together. So I got the Blackhawks here. All these guys can score. Patrick Kane, huge offensive talent. Taves is more of a two-way player, but great playmaker. You want really speedy guys in the wings, so you'll notice that my speed rating on the wings is always very high. You see there, 92, 90s is what you kind of want on the wings if you can afford it. And then the role of your second line, also another scoring line. You're going to keep this pretty much the same as your first line. You want to go for big scorers. Some guys like to put if they have like a Crosby and Ovi, they put them on their second line so people won't quit at the start of the game if they see you have Crosby and Ovi. I don't really care. If people want to quit, they're going to quit. But anyways, so you want high scores on your first two line. Now the third line, I like two-way players. My line's actually not a great example of this, but I would consider Zetterberg and Duchesne both pretty good two-way players because they're good skaters and they're there's defensive categories are at least decent there. Gabrick is more of an offensive. He's more of a second or first line player, but I do have him on my third line anyways because I love his speed. He does back check pretty good, and he's a large player, as you'll notice. That's going to be important as well. Now, fourth line, as I already said, you want some grindy guys. Grinders and two-way forwards are best for your fourth line, or power forwards like a Brent Burns type of player is great for your fourth line. Like I said, focus on them keeping it out of their own net. Now, when you're building your team, you want to keep in mind what your power play and PK lines are going to look like. So think about this. I'd like on my power play a right-handed shot on the left side for one-timers and a left-handed shot on the right side for one-timers and someone who can dish down the middle. Also, Taves can do it all in my opinion. He's one of the best all-around players in the game, but a lot of you probably can't afford him. So as you see there, that's what my power play looks like. And once again, left-handed shot over here, right-handed shot over here, whatever you like, whatever you prefer in the middle. And puck mover in the center, so we got Taves and Gretzky, two of the best puck movers in the center. Now, on defense, it's the same thing. Your first defensive line, what I like to do is usually run players that can play both ends of the ice very well. Pietrangelo and Keith. I would say Duncan Keith, for the money, is the best D-man in the game. Pietrangelo is probably up there as well. Now, on my second line, I got Carlson and McDonough. Carlson I have on my team because I really want a great first-line puck mover on the power play. That's important, so you're going to want to keep at least one really good puck mover for the power play, maybe two, and then a guy with a good shot. So Pietrangelo is my good shot. Carlson's actually both. He's got a huge shot there, as you see, 88. And then my third line guys, I love to be my shutdown D pair. Same as the fourth line forwards, a shutdown D pair should be able to easily shut players down. I like very large defensemen, so they have good reach and poke check. 6'8" and 6'6" there. I love them on the penalty kill. They can break up plays very well. I put them out on the penalty kill, as you'll see here. Penalty kill. My first line PK is still these guys because I feel like they're my best players, but my second line penalty kill will be Myers and Hedman. By the way, these guys are both fairly cheap. I would recommend picking up. Myers is around, I don't know, 10, 15, and Hedman's around 5K. So even if you don't have too many pucks, you can pick them up. Now, let's move on to, I already talked about the importance of right and left-handers. As you'll notice, all my D pairings, we've got a right-hander, left-hander. This is all for one-timers. One-timers are a very important part of the game. As you'll see, right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed, all the way through. I love one-timers. Doing the D-to-D one-timer is one of the best ways to score in the game. You guys have got to get your D-men to have a right and a left-hander. I've also played with two right-handers or two left-handers. It works well because there's always a one-timer available. You guys can play around with that and decide what you like best, but I like to have both options available at all times. Now, we're going to talk about the value of a player per puck. So let's say Taves costs, 600K. That's not going to be something when you're first starting on a team. That's not going to be something you're looking into. But a guy like Patrice Bergeron, who's maybe 40K and brings a lot of value to your team, you're going to want to load up your first two lines on players that get good value if you don't have very many pucks. So I would recommend Darren Helm from Detroit, Andrew Cogliano from Anaheim because they're speedy players, and no matter what, as long as your players are fast, they can compete at any level. They might not have the great shot, but they can compete with the top-tier players as long as they're fast enough to keep up in the game. Defenseman, I've already said, here's two that I recommend you to start with. But remember, guys, it is your ultimate team, so go ahead and pick players you like and put them in positions, but just kind of try to follow my basic outline that I'm saying here. Another thing I want to talk about is big versus small players. I like my centermen to be large players because A, they usually have good one-timers, and B, they can get, tie people up in your own zone because the center is a defensive position, remember that. So Taves is 6'2", Gretzky's actually 6 feet. He's not the best defensive center, but I just love him offensively, so that's why I've got him. And Duchesne, once again, he's not very tall, but he's very fast. Something else and Bergeron's one of the best defensive centers in the game, probably the best defensive center in the game. At 6'2", got great faceoffs. Now, something else that's important, you've got to get 4 centermen that have good faceoffs. I see so many people put Evgeny Malkin in center. I think he only has like 70 or 75 faceoffs. Faceoffs are so important so you're not chasing the game and you can control the puck. So I go with players. Taves has 95 faceoffs. Gretzky has 90. Lemieux has 90. Duchesne has 85. Bergeron has 95. Kessler has 90, I believe. Darren Helm has, I think, 80 or 85. I would say 80 is the minimum you should do. So when you want to look up faceoffs, go into the player rosters and sort by faceoffs and just look through the teams. Some other guys I know, Jared Stoll has great faceoffs. Most of these guys here, Spezza has 90 in faceoffs. So these are guys you're going to want to have in the center. Zetterberg also, I think, has 80 or 85. He's a good center. But these are the types of guys you're going to want to look for to get some, good faceoff time. I would recommend like my penalty kill is Taves and Bergeron. They both have 95 faceoffs. It is crucial to win faceoffs in this game, especially on the penalty kill. I score so many goals on the power play by winning the faceoff to my winger and sniping right off the draw 2 seconds in. So faceoffs are critical. You've got to look up your centerman's faceoff rating before you put them on the team. That is so crucial. And as I mentioned, the big players are good. I'm going to look towards getting a Joe Thornton for my center. I like him. He's almost the same as Jonathan Taves. Large, great at faceoffs. I think he has 90 in faceoffs. Large player, can play both ends of the ice very well, and is a dish master. So guys, I know I talked pretty quick. That is most of what I've got for team building. That's a very basic tip. We're going to go into some more advanced tips on team building down the road. I'm going to talk about which players are the best to pick up, how I would go about building your lines. Like, for example, your first 2 lines get probably 80% of your ice time, so spend most of your pucks in the first 2 lines, and don't worry about your third and fourth lines initially. Same with your defensive pairings. First 2 pairings are very important. Third pairing does not get nearly as much ice time. So put most of your pucks towards that. Sort of stuff like that. Stuff you may not think about. Sort of common sense. But stuff you might not thought about when you're building a team. I'm going to try and help you guys out with these tips. So, nonetheless, boys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this has helped you. I hope you picked at least 1 or 2 pieces of information up. Most of it's fairly common sense, but for some of you new to NHL 14 and Hockey Ultimate Team, it would help you. And some of you have been playing for a while, you might have not considered some of those things, because I see a lot of YouTubers even. They've got, the tip about on their fourth line. They've got all-stars on their fourth line, but they don't have any shut-down defensive lines, which is really, really important in HUT. So anyways, guys, hope this helped you. Get out there, build your ultimate team with your favorite players. I just made suggestions in this video. You don't have to follow them, right by the book. But get out there and enjoy Hockey Ultimate Team because it is a really fun game mode. And with my tips, hopefully it helps you win some more games. I am FlashDavin. That is all. See you later, boys. Stay subscribed for more tips. And please remember to like and comment what you want to see next. I'll be doing some more tip videos in the future. Anyways, I'll see you later. Peace.